I was born and raised in the rural mountains of Vermont, and here, simple living comes very naturally. It's ingrained into our culture. I was raised with very minimalistic, sustainable values, and these same values continue to allow me to cultivate not only a minimalistic lifestyle that grants me the space and clarity to create, but it's also inspired me to live and make my art in the most sustainable way possible. It's a daily practice for me, and I am most certainly not the perfect practitioner by any means, but I think that living mindfully, opening my eyes, paying close attention to what I am consuming and how I am consuming has helped me to become a happier and healthier person. It has guided me on a path of simple living, free from the distractions and loud voices of a very consumption-oriented society, and it's helped me to take better care of the earth, a sacred responsibility. Today, I would like to share with you a few of the things I have been able to replace with sustainable alternatives. While my practices may not be perfect, they have brought a lot of joy and mindfulness into my life. So I hope this list can act as an encouragement to you on your own journey of mindfulness and simple living. Let's get started. Minimalism and practicing living sustainably is something that has helped me so much in the past year. As 2020 wound down and I started reflecting back on the past year and practices that I had invited into my life that had benefited me, my mind right away landed on minimalism and my practices of living sustainably. Today I want to share with you an important component of it for me, which was replacing certain things in my life that were definitely created more waste than what I do now. So these are going to be things that I replaced with reusable and far more sustainable products or methods. So I'm going to share that list with you, and I hope you get something out of it. I hope it inspires you, and please feel free to add to the list. If you have a sustainability practice, if you live minimally, I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. I'd love to hear something that you do, because I'm constantly looking for things to add to my practice to make it better, to live in a more sustainable and wholesome way. So first, I started with removing a lot of things that were single use. Single use creates a lot of waste, and if you can replace some single use things with something that's reusable, great. And I spent a lot of the past year really analyzing my lifestyle and looking at what are all the things that I can replace with reusable methods, reusable products instead. So I started with paper towels. I replaced paper towels with organic wood fiber cloths. I use Durafresh cloths, also bamboo fiber cloths. These can be rinsed out. They can be boiled or microwaved to kill any bacteria. They're absolutely fabulous for cleaning up in the kitchen or just cleaning up spills in general. Using for tidying a desk, tidying a table, whatever you use paper towels for normally. I have almost 100% converted over to using these wood fiber and bamboo fiber cloths instead. They're actually better than paper towels, and they cut back an enormous amount of waste going into landfills every single year. So while I use reusable cloths almost 100% of the time for something super messy or something that I wouldn't want to wipe up and then reuse the cloth, I would use a paper towel that is 100% recycled. I will link down below the company that I buy from. It's a very environmentally conscious, sustainably sourced company. I really like the work they do. And we buy about maybe a 6-pack of paper towels per year. I replaced cotton balls with 100% organic cotton cloths. For daily skincare and washing my face, I switched completely from using organic cotton balls to organic cotton cloths. solely because the cotton cloths do the exact same thing, but they're reusable. Cotton balls also often come in a big oversized plastic bag that will get thrown away into a landfill. It's very hard to recycle plastics like that from what I understand. So it was really important to me to stop buying this packaging, especially when I usually couldn't reuse the bags because they have small holes in them. So I couldn't reuse them as a travel bag for liquids or anything like that. So I switched over to buying cotton cloths. I buy them from a website called the Unpackaged Shop, I believe. I hope that's the correct name, but I will link them below. All their products come very low packaged. They're mailed in eco-friendly materials, and the cotton cloths that I bought had no packaging on them whatsoever. For when I go out and get a coffee or perhaps get some takeout, I switched over. Instead of using the plastic forks and knives and cutlery that are provided, I bought a set of sustainable bamboo cutlery. It comes in a little wrap and it's perfect for taking out. It really cuts back on plastics that are used to make cutlery, that are used one time, again, single-use things that are just used one time and then thrown away, which is just so sad to me. Like, that we have so many things that we only use one time. Just as a Vermonter, it bothers me because we're all about reusing as much as possible. That's just part of our lifestyle and how I was raised, really. So I love being able to use reusable cutlery that I can bring easily with me. It fits right in my satchel and I don't have to grab plastic silverware. It also comes with a bamboo straw, that you don't have to use a plastic straw either, which those were actually just banned in my state. So it's handy to have that anyway, because that's pretty much the only way you're going to get a straw. I also use a reusable water bottle and a reusable mug. I love Clean Canteen. Their process is very conscious. From what I've read of their company, I really like their ethics. I like how they go about making products. I like that they do 1% for the planet. They're a pretty cool company. I'll link them below as well. All these things you can find linked below. Another thing I eliminated in the past year was single-use plastic bags for storage. I switched over to using mason jars, which for me personally work for almost everything that I want to store, be it food, leftovers, a smoothie, skincare. They also double as cups for us. Next is switching from bottled soap and shampoos to a bar of soap. So I use Dr. Bronner's hemp soap, which I love, and hemp is really great for your skin, hemp oil. So I switched to that because it's just lower waste. You don't have the plastic packaging. This bar of soap just comes in a completely paper wrapper. It's not coated with anything, so it can be composted or recycled. And I've noticed bars of soap last much longer for me than a liquid soap does, because I end up just using the exact amount I need, be it for my hands, for shampoo, for laundry. I use Dr. Bronner's 100% Castile soap for literally everything. My shampoo, my body wash, for hand soap, for washing dishes when we're camping, and for laundry. So there's pretty much, you can use that soap for anything, and it does come in a liquid version if you like to have liquid soap. You can buy it in bulk at most health food stores. But I really like that it's helped me completely eliminate like having multiple bottles in the shower, like shampoo, conditioner. I just have literally one bar of soap that does it all. Within that vein of reducing, I've tried to really cut back on buying anything that comes in plastic packaging. Some things it's almost impossible not to, but for a lot of things there are alternatives. For example, in the produce department, if they have some vegetables I'm looking at that are wrapped in cellophane on a little piece of cardboard, on a little cardboard tray, I will immediately look for that same vegetable in a loose form. So usually you can find that. Same with bulk things like nuts and seeds. Instead of buying it in a bag, you can usually grab a mason jar and fill it right in the bulk section of a health food store, and that way you don't have to accumulate all this plastic packaging. Another practice that I've invited into my life over the years is doing probably 80% of my shopping from either my local co-op or my local farmer's market. Here in this area of Vermont, we have farmers markets year round that will be indoors. So it makes it a bit easier to be able to buy loose produce that's local, that's organic, that's not packaged. The same with our co-ops. We're a member of 2 different co-ops in our area, and it makes it very easy to buy unpackaged, fresh, organic food. And it's wonderful too to be able to support local farmers, to support your community. If I have an opportunity to support my local farmers, they are the backbone of my community here in Vermont, and I am more than happy to be able to get fresh food and support them at the same time. So while we've cut back on as much waste as we possibly can, for what little waste we do accumulate, we buy 100% compostable trash bags. So many trash bags are made from harmful plastics filled with toxins that are literally getting trapped in these landfills. I'm not going to go into the science of it here, but I could geek out for a long time about this topic. I highly recommend researching it just a little bit yourself to get a little bit of a sense, if you don't already, of some of the things that are going on and how we can mitigate them. And one of the best ways to do that, besides reducing, is to use compostable bags for what waste you do create, so that we don't have all this plastic not breaking down. Tagging right onto that, I have also started composting, which is kind of a statewide thing here in Vermont. Composting is wonderful for the environment. You can typically compost at a transfer station sometimes. You would have to check because it's different per country and state. Wherever you live, you would have to check on that to see if it's in your area. Sometimes you can also find composting centers that you can go to bring your compost, or you can compost yourself at home. And lastly, we continue to recycle as much as possible, but in the past year, I feel like I really honed in more on what I was recycling, how much I was recycling, and analyzing what are some things that I might be missing to make sure that those things get recycled. They don't just get thrown away. So often we can accidentally mix in with the trash things that could really be recycled. So it's more, the past year I just became a little more conscious of that and expanded my practice of being mindful in all my consumption, the things I'm consuming, making sure that I'm doing that in a conscious way, not just mindlessly bringing things into my life and mindlessly throwing things away. Not that I ever did that, because I wasn't raised that way, but I think we can always grow and get better. My practice is not perfect by any means. I am not a guru in any sense, but I like to think that I'm a mindful person. I'm a mindful soul who continues to open her eyes to new and better ways to expand and invite deeper practices of awareness into my life. And I think that by being aware of our impacts on the earth and the environment, and how we can make our own communities more beautiful and enriched places, that's something to really be proud of. So if you're considering starting a minimal, sustainable practice in your day-to-day life, I commend you. If you've already started a practice of mindful living, I cheer you on your path. I hope these things encourage you. And like I said, I would love to hear about your practices below. Let me know your list. What are some of the things that you've replaced in your life with more sustainable alternatives? I hope this video encouraged you and inspired you to look for the things that are so sustainable, things that are so accessible to us now more than ever, that we can make that shift. It's not that big of a deal. We don't have to give up everything we own. It doesn't have to be that extreme. I wish you joy in your journey, my friend. Until the next time, namaste.